Welcome to this week's Ask Biz Show. I'm your host, Kevin Adelsberg. And what is the Ask Biz Show? You might wonder, or you might not care. But if you do care, what is the Ask Biz Show? It is myself taking time out of my week to show you about how to do better at business, whether that's marketing or sometimes I'll have guests on. Like last week, I had Wes Harris from Wes Harris State Farm, and he answered some questions about insurance that people might not normally know. And I take questions ahead of time, and then I also take questions live as people are watching. You can send it through the comments or send it through the Periscope, and then I'll also post the video on YouTube later this week for people to watch if they weren't available while it's on. And why do I do this? Well, as a marketer, I believe in doing different things to market myself, and this is one of those ways. It also shows, hopefully, that I can be a help to your business. So ideas are free, but execution costs money. And so sometimes you need those free ideas to get to the place where you can execute on them. And so that's why I'm giving ideas away for free. Didn't have any questions come in this week, and so I just want to talk about a book that I recently finished reading called Free by, well, it's backwards because I haven't figured out how to fix that yet, but it's called Free by Chris Anderson, and the concept of this book is to talk about how does free affect the economy? How is it a marketing concept? How does it affect the psychology of people that are buying things? And so a couple of the key points from this is that sometimes things are too cheap to count. As society progresses, things like technology become cheaper and cheaper. A lot of you have heard of Moore's Law, where computing technology catches up with itself or doubles every 2 years. And so as that continues to go, the cost of things get cheaper and cheaper. And so that's one of the reasons that people can give away an ebook for free, because the cost is almost zero. Now there is some cost, right? There's the cost of hosting the servers and keeping the website online, and sometimes there's a MailChimp subscription service that they use, but the cost per book downloaded is almost zero, and so it's too cheap to matter. And so it gives people an opportunity to give something away to help encourage people to be interested in your products from there on. It's the same way why Google does email for free. It is a great way into your life, but the cost of them providing a gigabyte of email storage is almost nothing when you look at it as individual users. And of course, there's some upfront cost in building that, but over time, the cost is almost nothing to provide that email for you. Another point was that the freemium model is going to increase in popularity. And so what is the freemium model? A lot of us use apps that are free, but they have paid options to go with it. So how does that work? So let's say someone plays Angry Birds. I don't play right now, but I played in the past. And you want someone who has more money than time wants to be better at it than everybody else, so they pay money to get it forward in the game. That's the freemium model. It's free. It's a combination of the words free, premium, freemium. And so that in some cases, even 80% of the users are going to be people who don't pay a dime to use it. And this works for things like I use Asana to keep all my tasks together. I never paid for Asana. It is super important to my business, but there's lots of companies that pay to use Asana. And so it's free for teams of 20, and so it's a good tool to use if you're working by yourself or on a team with tasks. But most of its users don't pay anything. And so they use that model to get people in their giant sales funnel, and then the sales funnel narrows as people begin to pay. And then number 3, is that they have real-world models of free throughout the book. And so, for example, he had a great example of how textbooks could be free. Give away a digital copy of the textbook that could be easily updated, so it doesn't become instantly dated as soon as it's printed, if it's a science textbook or something like that. And then you sell printable versions. You can sell the hardbacks. And then it showed some companies that are doing this that after 6 years, the free digital copy system actually makes more money than the traditional printed method, which is just really fascinating to think about. And so um, there's a lot of ways that free can be something that will help your business or help my business, because it changes the equation on how people think about things, and you have to be more creative. And so, some people, if your business, say you're an entertainment business, you might make more money on the things that you sell when people are at the entertainment function than the actual to get in. And so you may give the ticket away for free, and because you make more money on the things that people can buy while they're there. This is a similar process with dibs on borrowing the book after you. I'm done. So Nick, if you want to come borrow it, or I'll be at the ballpark, I'm sure soon. I'll try to bring it with me. But so maybe that was the concept with something like happy hour. It's not quite free, but they're hoping people are going to buy something else when they're there. And so free is a model that is going to continue to grow in popularity in our culture because it's so easy and it's cheaper. Things are getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And so how can you use free to motivate people to do something? And that's a really interesting thing. In this book, Chris Anderson, it's free. The great thing about this book is that he believes in this model so much that it's available for free online. So if you don't want to wait for me to bring it to you, Nick, you can go on adelsbergermarketing.com, and I've got a link on my latest blog about this book that takes you to where you can download this book for free, which is, that's really, some people would say, eating your own dog food. So Free by Chris Anderson is a great way to start thinking about how to work that into your business model. And you have to be creative about it. People weren't just going to sit around the table and say, let's give the textbook away for free. But there's other models that you can build around that to sustain it. And free is a huge motivator. You're right, Ian. I 100% agree. Free is a great way to start relationships that could then later lead to things. And so that's one of the reasons I'm giving away all this hopefully useful information for free. So that's this week's Ask Biz Show. You can find more of the episodes on my website, adelsbergermarketing.com. I'll be here for now every Monday at noon taking questions and trying to answer them live. And sometimes I don't have the answer, so I come back the week after that. But you can ask questions. Just look on my Facebook page. I occasionally post a link to ask a question, and I'd love to have some questions for the next episode. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you around Jackson.